Hey guys, what's up? It's GVKcollectibles coming at you with a brand new Mythical Mountain Monday. Do this every Monday. I think this is one of the earliest shows that we did on the YouTube channel, which is crazy to me. That and What's in the Box Wednesdays. The figure reviews kind of came later, but yeah, this has been the show as always. The auction was the other day, and it was pretty good. A lot of great books. Let me show you the stack real quick. But it seems like it's small, but it is a lot of cool stuff. A lot of stuff that I particularly like, and I hope you guys enjoy too, because I'm a big fan of all these. But like always, I usually get more stuff, and this week has been a really busy, not busy week, but it's been an interesting week. I've been getting a lot of stuff, and I got a lot of cool stuff. So the first one I'm going to show off is a big one, and actually, funny thing, I actually pre-ordered this from Big Bad Toy Store. I actually had to cancel my pre-order because I actually found this guy in the wild, and I didn't think I was going to find it because I thought it was going to like ship later, like it was going to get released later. But I did find him, and I'm very excited, and it is our mutual friend Jacob. He actually had one of these in a kaiju group he's in on Facebook, and I just knew I had to get it because I love it. And it is the the Transformers Studio Series Grimlock from and Wheelie from the Transformers movie from the 80s. And what do I gotta say? Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not like the biggest Transformer fan. I like love I should say not the biggest Transformers fan. I love Transformers. It's just I'm not too much of a collector. I don't collect much of the figures. The only few things I have, really off the top of my head, I have the newer Optimus Prime Pop and this guy, and my Jetfire too. That's in storage. Those are really the only two kind of Transformers I got. But I love Grimlock. You know why? Because he's a T-Rex, and also like he's just a fun character. He's dumb, but like at the same time he's super charming. Like he's a fun character and great. So one thing I noticed, I actually took this out of the box before I actually put it back in just to show it on screen. I may do a review of this. I don't know too much about Transformers with action figures, so I can't really compare it to any other figure. I can actually compare it to the Jetfire, but we'll get into that later. But I really love Grimlock. The Dino mode is awesome. His mode is really, like his regular Autobot mode is really great too. It comes with Wheelie from the movie too, which is a little cool minifigure, I think. He doesn't have this, this is the Grimlock without the sword. He doesn't have a sword, he just had a cannon in the movie, but really cool. It's really well articulated, and I really love this one. I'm really happy I got this guy. I love Grimlock, and it's cool because it is a relatively accurate looking how he does in the show, in the movie, and I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a masterpiece or a third-party figure because they're a little expensive. Also, the masterpieces, while I think are really cool, they're just too expensive, I think, in my opinion. For me, at least. I'm just a casual Transformers guy, so it's like, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's cool, I'm gonna get it. Next one I also got this guy at Target, too. It is the brand new, relatively brand new, Damian Wayne Robin from the DC Multiverse line. You'll definitely be seeing this guy on a review of this guy on the channel. I really love Damian. He's kind of come into his own for the past few years, because I remember he was really hated. I enjoy him. I enjoy moments with him and Dick Grayson, in the very first issue of DC. It was DC Rebirth Nightwing. I really love those interactions with him because Dick is essentially a bigger brother to Damian, which is really great. And Damian's also getting his solo book too, the After Future State. So next month he's gonna get a new book. So yeah, it's really cool. This is based off the Teen Titans Rebirth. So this one particular Damian is based off that one. I really love it. I actually love the design. I really hope we eventually get a Jonathan Kent from Super Sons, so you can have Super Sons, because apparently I haven't read that book, but I've heard it was phenomenal. Such a phenomenal book. So yeah, Damian Wayne, you can see him more. This next one is really cool. I'm really happy to have this. I got so tired of, I had to buy this guy on Mercari because I was so tired of going to Walmart and checking and them not having him. And I'm super happy to have it. It is the McFarlane Gold Label Batman, and this is just cool because it is, with this particular Batman, this is just Todd's own design, which is really great, and you can see, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see kind of hints of it because he's got the the cape, very similar to Thomas Wayne, which I really love. And it has a very, like, it's a very Todd McFarlane feel to it, but, like, at the same time, I feel like this Batman could work with really any situation. Like, it's a really, really cool, really well done figure. I'm really super happy to have this figure in the collection, because it is, like, a good, like, other than, I think, the Arkham Knight Batman, this is a really, really solid looking, good looking Batman figure, I think, in my opinion. They are, I think, actually doing a variant, color variant that is going to be on, what is it? It's going to be on Amazon, so if you don't want to find these at Walmart, there's going to be a newer one. But, man, I really love that. I love how the cape design is very similar. It harkens very much, it's a McFarlane design, and I really, as always, you'll see a review of this guy now. I'm actually going to probably do some photos of him later today. I'm going to maybe put him with Spawn or something or later during the week, so, because I just think this is a cool figure. And the last figure, the last toy, then we get onto the comics, is the 2D Terrors, 2D Terrors Michael Myers from Halloween 2. What am I going to say about this line? So this line has decently surprised me, because there's been a lot of cool figures. Like, they did a lot of cool, like, first one was the Nosferatu Count Orloff one, because there was no figures of that one. That could change, though, from NECA. Then I got the Creep from Creepshow. I got Reagan, because they didn't have a 6-inch scale Reagan, or like an Ultimate. That would be kind of a weird kind of Ultimate, but then I got the Creep, which looks phenomenal. I think, have all the Creeps that NECA has done. And who else did I get? I got Ghostface. That one's really, really great. A great, like, cartoony design. Now I have Michael with the bleeding eyes, which looks really, really cool. It also comes with a cool little pumpkin too, so I'm very happy to get this one. So yeah. And I also recently did get the Grady Twins, which was a Walmart exclusive. So that was those are really, really cool, really well done, very creepy too. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into the comic books real quick. So first comic book starting off the show is Uncanny XMen number 244, and the big significance of this particular issue is the first appearance of Jubilee. Jubilee is actually a really well-loved character. She manipulates, like, I forget what shit is, but it's like she can do, like, shoot fireworks, essentially. It's like fireworks. And she's a really, really cool character. She's been around for a long time now, and she's been a main fixture of, like, any X-Men team you could think of. Like, currently she's on the Excalibur book. So, like, she's generally a character I enjoy, and I love to see the interactions with the other characters in the movie. Like, a lot of people, first exposure to Jubilee was probably the 90s animated series, so, and she's a fun character. She's been through a lot of stuff. She had her first appearance, like, she was what she was normally. Then the House of M happened, she got depowered, then she became a vampire for some reason, then she didn't become a vampire, then she has a kid. She's a mom now, so it's very weird. Comics are very fun and weird. And it makes you say the line, God, I hate comics. But I don't. And this next one is cool. It is Aliens versus Predator, the deadliest of species. Now, this is a ashcam of the I assume the beginning of the run by Chris Claremont, who is well known for writing X-Men in the 90s. It's probably the basis for all the characters you know, like, and what you think of are from his run. So this is really cool. It's really cool to see him. I have the issue number 1 of this actually signed by him. I'm very happy to have that. But I always get my hands, as always, I get my hands on the Dark Horse comics from Alien or Predator, just mainly because they're no longer there. But I'm very excited because we are getting the Marvel variants, very much like the Alien books. They were getting variants. We're going to get Predator variants for most of the books. Only a few have been, I think, released right now. The Miles Morales one is probably the best one. I think that's the coolest. And also, they did confirm that a Predator book is coming in later in the year, which I'm super excited about. And also, like, I think I mentioned it on a previous Mythical Mountain, but they, like, Predator 5 Skull news was, like, it's going to be set during pre-colonial America, and it's going to follow a female Comanche warrior, which sounds awesome to me. It's like, to me, I think, as I said, I think last week episode, best comic book that's the best like comic book pitch that Dark Horse never did, which is crazy. But I'm very excited to see the book eventually come out. That movie come out. Next one is a Topps comic, so I don't do too many of these. But it is the true story Dracula, Vlad the Impaler. And it's just a like really awesome looking like cover. Like, holy crap. It's really, really cool. It's kind of like that kind of gothic style art style I really love. Kind of reminds me of Magnolia a little bit, but it isn't. It's Esteban Mardo. I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I'll put the name of the artist right here because I don't want to butcher it. So, yeah, there's that. So, let's see. You know what? The camera's about to cut out, so I will be right back. It's just be a quick second for you guys. Guys, I'm back. As I said, it'll only take a few seconds. So, this is pretty cool, too. It is, there is no escape from the House of Secrets. Now, this is, kind of, I think, of where this book in particular, not this book, but the book itself, like the series, this is where Swamp Thing was first introduced, which is really, really incredible. But not this particular issue. It is a Wrightson cover. I think a Bernie Wrightson cover, if I'm correct. Yeah. I kind of don't want to open it because it's really old. Oh, wow, this is really old. I think this is the oldest, here. This is the oldest DC comic I've actually had, I think, in my hands. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's very old. I forget where they put the... Wow. Yeah. So yeah, that's really cool. I think it's a Bernie Wrightson cover. I will put my correction down below. But yeah, this is a really, really cool book. Really well done. I really love the old particular horror covers of like the EC stuff, and even like when like DC was able to still do some horror stuff, like granted with the comics and everything, which was frustrating. It's so funny to look about like how the comics code, like how over like kind of people were crazy about, like thinking comics were really corrupted people, and back then, and it's kind of nuts if you look about it. Like there's videos on talking about like the author of the seduction of the innocent, but it's like everybody's like treated that as fact, even though it was really nothing factual. It was just more of his opinion, and it was like the popular belief, which is crazy to think of, but you know, crazier things have happened. So this is pretty cool. This is called Hyde 25. So the character itself I have no idea about, but this is the reprint of the first appearance of Vampirella, and 2, it is also in color too, which is I think the first time it was in colors. So Harrison did, I think, a lot of these story behind Bishop from Vengeance of Vampirella. Oh, and there's like something to do with Vengeance of Vampirella in the back, so which makes sense. So yeah, it's kind of incredible. As y'all say, I say all the time, I am a big fan of Vampirella, so it is really cool, like, to really get my hand, like, if I had the opportunity to get a like a graded, like, it didn't matter what grade, a graded #1 Vampirella from the 1966, which it's like in a magazine format, I would totally get it. Because I don't do graded comics that often, so I'm not really into that collecting. So this is really cool. I think you guys have seen this book. It's Batman #1 from the New 52, but what's notable is this is a Walmart reprint. So of what I can understand, Walmart reprints had these kind of like small, because they sold comics at Walmart for a little bit, and I actually think they still do relatively. It's kind of like when, for those of you who went to Toys R Us and you would check out, there was some comics, like on the checkouts, you can get some comics. I think it was very similar to that. It wasn't a full-blown comic shop, but like this is just essentially a reprint. And I think it's just to get people into the story of Batman, so it's very, very interesting. Very unique. It's always weird to hear, like, kind of stuff dealing with like reprinting comics like at Walmart, because they usually, like, you don't usually see comic books be sold at Walmart, because it's like it's not the ideal place to sell them, because like granted it's like for kids, and it's like back in the day you could get like comics at a drugstore, but it's like I primarily go, like, the thing is, it's like when I've gone to get comics, I usually go to get comics at a comic book shop, so I don't really have the experience of like going to like Walmart. It's like, hey, they have a back issue that I don't have. So, but apparently those books, the Walmart reprints. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Tony said something that they're going up in price, although I could be completely wrong. I don't know what's going on. But with the next book, as I said, we got Green Lantern 28. This is pre-New 52, and it is also noted that this is the first appearance of the Red Lantern, Atrocitus. He's the leader of the Red Lanterns, and was a big villain in Johns' run. It still is, I believe. He's Red Lantern, and it was the introduction. I think this was, I don't know. I think this was maybe before. I'm not completely sure. I'm not the biggest Green Lantern dude, so I don't know if this was before or after, like, the whole corps, like Blackest Night, which I think the whole idea of the different, like, corps were established. Like, the Blue Lanterns, the Green Lantern. Well, Green Lanterns are already established, Yellow Lanterns, all that kind of jazz. And the Red Lanterns, of course. So, but this is the first appearance of Atrocitus. Who would be a big villain in the next. So this one's really cool. I've actually not seen this series, and I'm kind of sad that I haven't yet. It is called The Old Guard, and this is done by Greg Rucka. Most of you who know probably Greg Rucka, he did a lot of stuff with Batman. He did DC Rebirth Wonder Woman, when that was the initial run of that. He did Shattered Empire, which is just a really incredible book, kind of showing post Return of the Jedi. In the universe, but this is Old Guard. So Old Guard is basically about a bunch of immortal warriors who have kind of been this team, and they like evolve throughout different times. So like they're in like modern times, but they're like using axes. So I'm not completely sure. There is a Netflix series which stars Theron in it, and it's the Old Guard. So yeah, not too much about that, but like once again, book could go up in price. Just usually books go up in price because characters, depending on what they are, characters will just shoot up, right? Those, whenever a character makes an appearance in a comic, like, because recently Department of Truth is getting a TV show, which is awesome, so those books, one, already hot, because they're, like, really, really good books, but they're just going to go up, so, which is crazy. So, this is really cool. So, this is actually a few of them, as I said. Oh, God, yeah, I have quite a bit of them. So this is going to be, so I have issues number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 11 of Motor Crush. Now, Motor Crush is interesting. It's an Image comic, and it is actually done by the same team of the post-Gail Simone, so it's New 52 run. So it's Cameron Stewart, I believe Brian Fletcher. Here, look, because I don't want to get his name wrong, even though I just literally looked it up. Yep. Oh, Brendan Fletcher, and also the art, of course, is done by Bab Tart, who I love. I love her art. It's amazing. Just so wonderful. Now, I believe this series... Oh, no. Wait, yeah. No, it's an Image comic. So, for those of you who don't know, this comic was, I believe, it was either running concurrently or it was after their Batgirl run had finished on the New 52, when they're like, okay, we're done with DC Universe, we're ending 52, then we're just rebooting the series for DC Rebirth, which was a good, like, it's a good thing, too, that they did that, because a lot of good things came out of DC Rebirth. But yeah, all these, I think most of these covers are done by Bab Tart, and they're phenomenal. Like, I love her art style. Like, her Batgirl, like, that cover, which I think was Cameron, both Cameron and Tar, got me into, like, reading, like, DC stuff, like, in DC superhero stuff, which is really good. Like, which, like, is a good thing, because I love all the current books, but yeah, all these books are just, the covers are just absolutely phenomenal on them. Once again, you'll see close-ups on these on my Instagram page, because I always do that. Pretty cool. Love these books. So, to finish off the last two, actually, no, oh, I got 3 books. Okay, cool. So this one's pretty cool. Not much, I don't really know much about it, but it is the iconic cover of Rogue and Gambit kissing. They've been, they're a couple still today in Excalibur, which is really fun. It's really cool to see them. Jack Spockfire will always say Gambit sucks, but, like, I don't know. I don't hate him. He's really cool. Like, he's an interesting, cool character. He was really fun. I love the dynamic between him and Rogue, and him on Excalibur is really, really funny, especially when Apocalypse was on the team still. But yeah, really, really cool cover. I think, yeah, it's it's Andy Kubrick. It's an Andy Kubrick one, which looks phenomenal. And I think Matthew Ryan did this inking on this, I believe. I don't know. This one's really cool. So it is Batgirl number 9 from June 2010, and it is a. This is really cool because it is a post Art Germ. So this was before. This is art. This is after Art Germ's really, really famous cover. Like that really kicked start. Like he had been an artist for a while, but like that's when really kicked started him to be like a really, really good like variant cover. But like did covers and variants. He's been doing covers and variants for like DC all the time, and they look phenomenal. I love Art Germ. Really, really cool. This is Stephanie Brown too. Stephanie Brown Batgirl, which is really, really cool. And it's beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful piece. I can't say much more about that. And the final book of the day, it is World's Greatest Comic Magazine, Fantastic Four, with She-Hulk and Stan Lee on it. So, this is really cool. So, and this is, I think, at a point when Ben Grimm wasn't in the Fantastic Four anymore. Jennifer Walter, aka She-Hulk, ultimately took up the fourth member spot on the team, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool. Has that really nice kind of style. Not too much I can say about it, but it's like beautifully well done. So, with that being said, that was Mythical Mountain today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to hit like and hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified when Mythical Mountain Mondays, figure review, What's in Box Wednesdays, figure reviews, and whatever other videos that we do that we want to do. Also, check us out on Instagram. I'm GVKcollectibles. Check out my bro, Jack's Pop Guy, on Instagram. And also check out our respective Mercari stores. Links will be down below. Jesus.